Okay, we're good now. So welcome everybody. So our workshop today is about getting involved. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Victoria Rico. I'm a fourth year political science major, and I'm the development coordinator for the Success Mentor Program.
And I am Harlise Marshall, a fourth year MBE major, and I am a lead peer instructor for SMP.
So what we're going to be discussing today, we're going to be discussing the importance of being involved, how it's beneficial, and then we're going to go into organization, the different orgs on campus, and then clubs on campus. And then we also could talk a bit about knowing the difference between an organization and clubs. And then lastly, we're going to end with some just reminders and updates of upcoming workshops and events that we'll be having for the Success Mentor Program. So before we go ahead and start, we're gonna go and play the name game. It's really simple. So you're gonna introduce yourself to the group. You're gonna say your name, your major, and what year you are. And then you're gonna say the person who went before you and everybody who went before you's name and major. Sound good? Very self-explanatory, right? Okay. So I'll go ahead and start, and I'm just gonna popcorn, okay? So my name is Victoria Rico. I'm a fourth year political science major, and I'm gonna popcorn Melanie.
Hi, my name is Melanie. I'm a first year political science major, and the person before me was Victoria, and she's a fourth year political science major.
And I'm just popcorn someone.
Stephanie.
My name is Stephanie. I'm a first year political science major. The person before me was Melanie, a first year political science major, and then Victoria, a fourth year political science major. And I popcorn Jonah.
I'm Jonah. I am a CSE major. The people before me was basically. I'm sorry, the person went before me. Can you say your name one more time?
Stephanie.
I'm sorry, Stephanie. But basically, the people before me, Stephanie, Melanie, and Victoria, all political science majors.
And
Harlise. So I'm Harlise, a fourth year management business economics major. The person that went before me is Jonah, a first year CSE major. Melanie, Stephanie, and Victoria are all political science majors, and Victoria is a fourth year, and the rest of them are first years.
Wow, see, that's not that hard. Wow, we have a lot of political science majors in here today, so that's good. Let's go ahead and move on. You heard me.
Okay, so first we're gonna just talk about the importance of being involved and how it's beneficial to you. So next slide. So first and foremost, you build connections with other people, and these connections will pretty much take you like throughout college and beyond. And it's a good way to just network with people, so people that have things in common with you or like the same goals and aspirations as you have. You also can figure out what you like and what you don't like. So say you join a particular club that's based around knitting or something, you can learn if you like that or if you don't. So it's just kind of helps you to get experience and figure out what you're into. It helps you also build a home away from home, which is similar to like building those connections, right? Like when you're at UC Merced and you know other people and you see them on a regular basis, you kind of feel like you have a place at UC Merced, so you don't feel like you miss home or like need to go back. It also helps you get out your comfort zone. So like finding out what you like and what you don't like, and just trying new things and experiencing new things that you might not have even thought about before. You have a sense of purpose on campus. You also gain a lot of leadership experience in a lot of the clubs and organizations that we have on campus. So in those clubs, you can like take seats on the e-board or like be secretary, president, vice president, that kind of thing, or even just being involved in like community service and whatever else the particular club offers. You can gain a lot of leadership experience with that. as well as career and professional experience and development. So the skills that you learn a lot of the times and the leadership experience that you get can translate very well to your leadership and your professional and career goals.
So now we're gonna go about talking organizations. So what is an org? So typically, when you think of an org, think of like fraternity, sororities, or societies. For an org, you do have to go through a recruitment process to be accepted, which is a little different when you join a club. There's no like real like recruitment process. You just kind of like admit members. And then orgs have requirements that each member has to fulfill, whether that be like a GPA requirement, stuff like that. Orgs do pay dues. So basically, dues, think of it like a fee to join the org. You do have to pay for it, whereas clubs, sometimes you pay, sometimes you don't. It really depends. And then for organizations, you do have a grade check, and that is done through like the org specifically that you want to join, but you do have to have a grade check because it is a requirement that they have. But every kind of org has like different GPA requirements and stuff like that. So that's where it gets very important to kind of look into which org you're thinking about joining before you decide. So there's three different types of organizations. So there's social, professional, and multicultural. So social organizations, they don't like promote like a specific profession or discipline. Like they're very kind of like giving back to the community. And there's like different examples. So there's Gamma Zeta Alpha, Phi Lambda Phi, Phi Kappa Phi. Oh my gosh, I said that bad. But like those organizations don't really have like a major focus. They just like to really give to the community. That's their main focus. Versus professional organizations. So typically professional organizations are very like major focused. Um, so for example, Alpha Kappa Psi is typically business. It's really only like business majors who are into it. And then there's Theta Tau, which is all about engineering majors. And there's a lot more professional organizations that you can look into. And then we'll get into a little bit more afterwards. But they typically have like a focus, and they really help you when it comes to like getting internships, landing like fellowships, and they're very GPA, like your GPA has to be pretty high to be in these professional organizations. And last but not least, there is multicultural. So it's usually like a place for minorities to build community. So, for example, there's Gamma Zeta Alpha, Sigma Theta Psi, and Lambda Theta Nu. These focus on building more like a community for students, typically students who are like into the same interests as you and stuff like that. Is there any questions about organizations before we move on? I can't see the chat. We good? Okay.
Now we're going to talk about clubs and how they're different from organizations. So clubs are basically no commitment. So you can just go to general body meetings and not be like, you don't have to be committed to it. So you can go to whenever you want to, anytime throughout the week. You don't have to go to every single one. You also build relationships and community in clubs. So kind of like we were talking about before, it's just a place and space for you to bond with people that you have similar likings with. And then you can also learn new skills and pick up new hobbies. So a lot of the clubs on campus are hobby based or like skill based. So you just go and like learn something new, and or even if you already know that skill or have that hobby, you can just bond with other people on campus that share those same hobbies with you. And we also have a lot of clubs that are culture based, so you can learn about a lot about different cultures or just meet people that share the same culture as you. So example of some of these, like Black Student Union, Brown Issues, Vietnamese Student Club. There's also a lot of gaming clubs. So like there's a chess club, Dungeons and Dragons, and language clubs like the Spanish club and the sign language club. And then we have a few clubs about surrounding mental health, like Active Minds, and another one called Posit. But you can find the whole extensive list of all the clubs and organizations that our campus offers on catlife.ucmerced.edu, and I'll put that link in the chat now.
Really quick before we go ahead and move on to this. So, for clubs, if there's UC Merced has like over like 200 clubs, but some of them are inactive and some of them are active. So if you go on Cat Life, you just kind of have to double check in the description if it says active or inactive. And if you see it that there's not a club that or there's nothing in it that really interests you, but you thinking of starting a club, it's really simple. You really only need 6 members to start a club, and then you just take it to I think it's OSL, and they approve or they don't approve. But there's like a whole process to go through that, and they can definitely help you more. But let's go ahead and get into other ways to get involved. Harwies, I'll let you take it over.
Some other ways that you can get involved outside of clubs and organizations are just a lot of leadership opportunities that our campus has to offer. So there's different leadership cohorts. So there's for some for women, there's a Black leadership cohort, there's a general Bobcat leadership series, there's a pre-health one, and others that you can find on the studentleadership.ucmerced.edu. But this is just more ways to get involved on campus and enhance your leadership skills too. Next, we have community service opportunities. So right now on the Community Engagement Center website, they have a lot of virtual opportunities that you can do to get involved with either your community or the Merced community. And those are just ways to kind of just give back to different communities and also build up your volunteer experience and your community engagement. And then you can also take up internships. So whether that be success internships on campus or off campus, and you can find all those opportunities on Handshake. And then you can also be involved in research. So a lot of people on campus that get involved in research start through by doing a level of UROC. So it's just a way for you to spend a summer researching a project of your choice under a person that will like a mentor, which is usually a professor that will help you with that project. And then you can continue to do that throughout your time at UC Merced, or you can also just get familiar with a professor. So as you go to their office hours and learn about their research projects and anything that they're into, and just kind of ask them if you can be a part of that or help them with their research or just kind of work in their lab. So those are some other ways that you can get involved on campus as well.
But before we get into this, I'm just gonna go over a couple of the links, show y'all how this looks. So let's go ahead and go into the fraternity and sorority. So the fraternity and sorority life, it really has everything that you need to know. It has the different chapters and councils. So when it comes to like the joining a fraternity and sorority, every fraternity and sorority has something called a chapter, which is like what they're about, what their goals are. Um, so if you're ever like not sure if you want to join, you can always like, for example, just click fraternity chapters, and it gives you every single one of the fraternities on campus, and you can just go ahead and read their chapters. For example, Kappa Sigma, and it goes more into about their like they actually have like right here they linked their stuff, and then you can just go more into this, and then let me see. So for Cat Life is like a major one. Oh, I can't copy. Let's see. So Cat Life is like a huge one. This one has like all the organizations and clubs on campus. So if there's like you can find the different organizations, the events that they have. Track involvement. This is more when it comes to like community service. You would just fill this out and like keep track of how many hours you've done. But really good thing about this is so they have on here like events that are going on. So for example, for today, like currently going on is the cybersecurity. Like you can go ahead and just go see what this is about. And you can see a lot more events here on the website, and it has all of the ones that like, and it says right here, if you look at the bottom, who is the one who's running it. So this is Sigma Chi, and it has so many different events going on in one day. And if there's anything like specific that you want to look into, so let's say you want to look into like art, you can go to view more organizations. young artist movements, hip hop movement, and all these different things that you can go into. And there's a lot more that you could look into. It's just about finding which one you want to be interested in. And if like you're not too sure what you're interested in, you can definitely like narrow it down. If you just go to organizations, so you want to join something a little bit more social. This gives you all the social organizations on campus. And mind you, these are not just like fraternities and sororities, these are also clubs available on campus. So if you're not too sure, I definitely recommend y'all to come out and look at this and just to check if there's anything on here that really interests you. And then we're gonna go into like a little bit more of the leadership opportunities. We put all these links for y'all in the chat, so if y'all like have any questions, you can just go ahead look into it. So the Margot F. Souza Leadership Center, they have several different programs for leadership. And it's like leadership experiences, like it gives you so many on here, leader development programs, and you just click here like for more information to see what the program is about, when they're applying, see program dates, it tells you right here for spring, February 10th to March 17th. So it's currently going on right now. And then you just kind of fill this out right here and like to see that you're interested. A little bit cool thing about the Student Leadership Center. So every year they do like leadership award, and you can nominate a student who you feel like really deserves that, and they'll go more into it. And then the Community Engagement Center, this one's very important. So if you go like down here, there's different ways. Really good thing is that because we are in like a pandemic, they have virtual service opportunities. So if you go like here, it gives you different things that you can do. There's a lot of cool things that you can do. I just suggest y'all to check out. They have a lot of virtual things available because we are in a pandemic. So if you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to go out of your way, definitely suggest doing one of those. And like as Harwis mentioned, UROC. UROC is really good for like research, especially like your first year. Maybe think about doing UROC in the summer or something. I know some applications have already ended, some of them are opening still. So just kind of definitely go check out the different programs, because research, there's so many like different programs for research that you can do. And like you can do like if you're in the humanities, non-specific STEM related research programs, I definitely suggest y'all to check that out. And of course, Harwee's put all these links in the chat for y'all, so if y'all have any questions about that, y'all can always ask us. But let's go ahead and go into reminders and updates. So for the Success Mentor Program, we have next week on the 19th at 6 p.m. Will be our workshop. It's called It's Time to Boss Up. It's about like interview prep and just like strategies about getting a job and stuff like that. And then on the 18th at 12:30, we're gonna have an alumni panel. This is specifically alumni who has already graduated from UC Merced, and they're just gonna come and like talk to students about like life after college, what's that like, how's that been, and stuff like that. So definitely suggest y'all to check that out. And then, as always, don't forget to follow us on social media. We're really active on Facebook and Instagram. Our Facebook, you can find us at UC Merced Success Mentor Program, and then our Instagram is at UCM Success Mentors. But I'm gonna go ahead and open up the floor if y'all have any questions about anything that we talked about. No. That's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording right now, okay?